Hello, my name is Kohui, and I'm an audiovisual artist based in Seoul, South Korea. And I mainly work in Seoul, but I have presented audiovisual performances and installations in many places around the world. And I also served as an adjunct professor at Korean National University of Arts. And in my work, I design a system using algorithms that move between predictability and unpredictability. And I explore relationships that can connect with the sound. And I build different works using my own artistic languages. And today I would like to talk about one of my work and share my very personal thought about AI. To begin this story, we need to go back to the year 2024 when this work was created. And I remember 2024 as the moment when AI moved beyond being a trend and became a part of our everyday life. And it was also the year when multimodal AI became widely used. And people could communicate not only with text, but also with very natural voices. And at the same time, many companies revealed humanoid robots, and the public could clearly feel that robotics technology was advancing very quickly. And in this situation, I was amazed by how precise AI had become. And AI could see and hear and speak and even imitate emotional voices like humans. And as the robotics technology improved, AI started to appear as a physical presence. So I began to imagine many possibilities of the future. So what will the future of AI look like? And how will humans live together with AI in the future? I even saw people having emotional conversation with AI. And this made me curious. In the future, will we have feel AI as if it's alive? So I began to ask a simple question to myself, and what is life? And at that moment, I remember a project that shocked me in 2014. It was called Open Worms Project. And this project studied a tiny organism called C. elegans. And it has only 302 neurons in its entire nervous system. And researchers mapped how these neurons are connected. And this map is called a connectome. And then they translated that structure directly into computer code. And when they put this algorithm into a Lego robot, the robot began to behave like the real organism. In a way, today's AI can also be seen as a much larger neural system. Even now, I still find this project very fascinating. And 10 years later, in 2024, I faced this question again. The Open One project focused on a creature with a very small number of neurons. In a similar way, I wanted to look at the smallest unit of life. So when I observed microorganisms, I saw that they chase each other and eat each other and form their own ecosystems. And I was amazed by their vitality. And I realized something, the moment when one existence recognizes another existence and reacts to it. So that moment feels like a life to me. So I wanted to create something that feels alive. So I thought that building such a system myself could be one way for me to understand life. And I also felt that in the future, there may be fewer moments where I can truly understand a system by building them myself. So even if the process is inefficient, I felt that I should still do it. So I began to think about how to design an algorithm where one existence can interact with another. So in this system, each point represents one existence. For these points to interact, they first need to recognize each other. But there's no way for a point to suddenly know that another point is nearby unless it is continuously checking the distance. To know whether another point became close or further away, the system must always calculate the distance between all points. So one point need to calculate the distance to all 100 points, including itself. And the second point must also calculate a distance to all 100 points. And third point does the same. So if there are 100 points, the system must perform 100 multiply 100 calculation. So in total, 10,000 distance calculations are happening. So in simple terms, the system performs calculations equal to the square of the number of points. And this structure is called a distance matrix, and mathematically, it is written as a big O of the n squared. So using this system, I gave each point different behaviors, and when 2 points become close, some points push other way away, and some points pull other closer. Through these interactions, organic forms began to appear. I also added the sound to this system. So when one point recognizes another point, it plays a sound. So it feels as if the points recognize each other through sound. So through this work, I wanted to ask several questions like, what is life and how should we treat AI in the future? And how will we build a relationship with AI? So I believe that the way we decide to treat AI might also influence how humans treat each others. And now, today, it is 2026. And we no longer see many questions like, is AI life or is it just a tool? The questions we see today are different, I think. People ask whether AI is competent or is incompetent. So now everyone clearly understands that AI operates through data and algorithms. Because of this, questions like, is AI life, no longer feel very meaningful, I think. So today, what we feel most strongly is the speed of AI. AI moves so fast that the values we believed in yesterday can suddenly feel uncertain today. To keep up with this speed, we begin to move faster as well. And many things start to become outsourced, labor and creativity and thinking and idea, style and taste. This reminds me of something called Cohen's paradox. When machines like a washing machine or vacuum cleaners were invented, people believed that housework would decrease and leisure time would increase. But the opposite happened. Instead of washing clothes once a week, people began washing clothes every day. And the time that was saved was filled with other kinds of work. So total labor time did not decrease. People kept working. And this is something called the betrayal of the washing machine. But AI today shows something even more extreme. It is not only that work time changes. Sometimes the meaning of the work itself disappears. When many activities are replaced by AI, and when many things are outsourced to AI, we begin to question our own role. Why do we work and why do we create? And personally, I believe that the one reason humans keep working is because work helps us to maintain our reason to exist in society. So today, many people, including myself, are questioning the meaning of labor and creativity. And if everything becomes a possibility through AI, and what creates our value in this rapidly changing world, we started to think about our reason to exist. So instead of focusing only on the invisible structure of AI as a black box, and I decided to think about something else. I started to think about the existences that might disappear. So recently, I opened my 2024 project again. And at the first, I replaced the heavy distance metric system with a much more efficient algorithm. Instead of checking every point, each point only checked a few nearby points. The system became much faster, and the distance metric suddenly looked extremely inefficient. But there was a problem. When too many points gathered together, some points were no longer recognized. They were simply ignored. At that moment, I had the thought, if these points are a metaphor for the relationship between living beings, then this efficient algorithm is also an algorithm that excluded some existence. Then I look again at the very inefficient distance metric system, and every existence continuously calculates distance to every other existence. It performs an enormous number of calculations just to clearly recognize everyone. And strangely, I felt moved by this, and an attitude where every existence tried to stay connected with every other existence, even if it's inefficient. Maybe that is the attitude we need. So I decided to not to change the distance metric structure. Instead, I changed the title of the work. So from this microbial object sound to this life scared, a movement of life where all existences and continuously recognize each other. So let us return to the question, what is life? And I think this is no longer only a question about AI. It is also a question for ourselves. And this photo was taken yesterday in Kuntung. Yeah, and every day we pass many people in our lives, and we do not know them, and we do not feel attachment to them. Often we only recognize someone as truly alive when we build a personal relationship with them. But in reality, every person has their own life and history and relationships. If I truly believe that all existences are connected, like the distance metric system, then even without personal relationships, I can still feel that every existence is truly alive. To feel that something is alive, alive means that we clearly recognize that existence. So in this world that continuously pushes us toward efficiency, and thinking about every existence can feel extremely inefficient, just like the distance metric system. But if we at least try to think about each existence and even a little more, perhaps we can imagine a better future. So yeah, this is the story about the work life scared, and it will be performed here tomorrow. And if you're interested, please come and see it. Yeah, thank you.